Hi, I'm Tori Hagaman. You may recall about a year ago, I did a video on this painting. It originally had a very warm background to it, but I felt it was too warm, too close to the color of the terracotta pots. So I changed it by putting in a cerulean blue and white background to cool it down, and I love the results. But this is one of my personal paintings. It's hanging in my den. I have a lot of blues in my den, but they're more in the ultramarine blue family. They're not this green blue that's in this cerulean blue. And so that has continued to bug me for about a year now. Every time I look at this painting, it just feels off since I'm using it for me personally. You know, if you're doing a painting for yourself or a commission for a customer, you really need to take into account, and I guess I'm saying that as an interior designer as well, the other fabrics and wall colors and that sort of thing in the room. So I've decided that I'm going to yet once again change the background of this. I'm probably going to change the tabletop as well, since it is also has a cerulean blue base and it's not going to work well with the ultramarine that I'm going to add in. I might add in some additional colors, and I'd like to have some real light and some real dark places in this background. I just feel like it could be a lot more interesting. So if you're interested in seeing what a difference this could make and maybe picking up some tips to use in your next painting, I hope you'll come along. Well, what so often happens with me is I have every intention of making one simple change. I was just going to change the background color to ultramarine, but I ended up putting in a mottled background using other colors, which I absolutely love. I ended up changing the table. I added a tablecloth, tweaked the flowers a little bit, but it was fun taking a painting that I love to begin with, that I have hanging in my home, and just sitting in front of it and thinking, what else could I do to make me enjoy this painting even more? And I'd like to share with you some of the really simple things, easy things to do that I did to this painting that really changed it, and I think kind of upped the game a little bit. You may notice I've changed the location. I've moved some paintings around. That can sure make a difference in a room as well. But I'd love for you to stay tuned. Let me show you some quick things, easy things that I did to make this painting even better. Stay tuned. I started out with my ultramarine blue, Naples yellow, cad red light, and light blue violet, and I went ahead and mixed up some piles mainly of light colors. I did add a little golden open medium so that the colors would blend a little easier, and I started just putting in that lighter background of ultramarine blue and white. You can see how the other color was a greener color, and just started adding it in. It just felt so much better to me already, just getting that bluer color in the background rather than it being so green. I wanted the lights and darks to vary, so on the far right side I took some cad red light with a lot of white, which makes kind of a peachy color, and I started putting that in on the right side of the canvas. I felt like there was a little too much of a dividing line between the blue and the peach, and it was bothering me. So to fix that, I took a big soft brush. I took a lot of the peach and I rolled my brush. I just turned it over, put the peach into the blue, and then on the right side, I put some blue into the peach, and it gave me this beautiful mottled look. I was real pleased with that. I also wanted to mention that within that area of blue, you'll notice I've got some really dark blues with very little white, and then some lighter blues, and then some mottled areas. So I was careful to not just have a solid color in the background. I decided at the last minute to change the tabletop from blue to cream. So I used white with a little bit of Naples yellow, and it just looked like it was a light drenched fabric. I really like that effect a lot. I also softened my shadows from the pots using the light blue violet. I really like exaggerated lights and darks. So while I was in there, I took some pinks and some of the Naples yellow, and I lightened up the sunlit sides of the pot. I had a couple of pots that looked too short to me, so I just extended the bottom and made them taller. It made a huge difference in the scale and proportion. That was pretty easy to do. Here you can see that blue and peach mottled background, a little darker blue around the white flowers so that they would show up a little more, and the lighter tablecloth with the lighter shadows. I think it really made a big difference. In the original painting, the edge of the table was right at the front of the canvas, and I decided that was just too harsh looking. So I decided to bring the tablecloth forward, and I got rid of that front edge, which I really think opened up the painting a lot. And then I decided to also add just little stripes and dots here and there and make it more of a tablecloth. So I thought that added sort of a fun interest. That was super easy to do, just some lines and wiggles, not very precise, but just adding a little detail. I added another apple or two to the front just to add a little more interest to the front of the painting since I had some extra space. So here we have the original painting over to the side of the room, and now I've changed it to over the mantle and made quite a few changes to it. And I took the painting that was over the mantle and moved it back to that original spot. So a little shifting went around, but gosh, it's fun to move your paintings around and get a completely different look. Hey, if you'd like to get a free video on my favorite colors and how I use them, go to my website. There's a link in the description box. And if this video has been helpful or pleasing to you, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'll subscribe, you'll be sure not to miss the next free video that's coming out soon. Thanks so much. God bless.